This is a section where we're going to explore new tunings. And I want to share with you maybe the best piece of advice I ever got from a teacher. And I want us to use this little piece of advice as we proceed in this journey through the tunings. Edward Flower was my classical guitar teacher in Ithaca College, and he said to us, he said, take 5 minutes, take even 1 minute if you can, but take a short amount of time, first time you pick up your instrument every day, or the first 5 minutes, let's say, of holding your instrument in your hands, and play stuff that you've never, ever played before. And even if you're in good old standard tuning and you attempt this, you will find some really amazing stuff coming out of your hands and instrument, partially because you've suddenly given yourself massive permission to just do anything, and partially because you're literally breaking open the ruts that your brain and your hand and eye and body and nervous system have gotten used to. I mean, how many of you actually pick up the guitar and immediately go to something that's kind of the same? Like there's always a something that I go to when I first pick up the guitar, whether it's a song or a riff or something or a couple of chords. It's like we just have these ruts ingrained in us. So Edward Flower said, take the first 5 minutes of your playing time, whether it's just playing time, practicing time, jamming time, doesn't matter. Do stuff you've never, ever done before. What I'd like to do is just show you through a series of steps, and actually a series of 12 steps, it just so happens to be, that I've come up with. And these are steps that I use. I don't think consciously step 1, step 2, but over the years I realized these are just ways of approaching a new tuning that I will use if I can't find what I want right away, or if I'm stuck, or if I'm just looking to break open some of those ruts. We're starting with the C, what I call a C2 tuning, and you have in your toolkit you have tuning guides. So we're not going to go through tuning right now, but I am in the C2 tuning. And we're just going to go through these steps together. See if you can figure out the names of the open strings. These steps do not have to be done or gone through in any kind of order. So whatever resonates with you, whatever you like, whatever interests you, go for it. The rest of it, leave it. Open strings, I happen to know. This is a C, it's a G, D, G, C, D. And once I've played around in a tuning and gotten some ideas, I like to go back later and figure out what was that chord, you know? Doesn't really interest me when I'm just getting into the sound of a new tuning, but later on it could be really useful. So you might be able to name your strings, identify a particular chord that they are. Play chord shapes from standard tuning and see what happens. So let's try that. There's a G chord. Sounds really strange. However, what you can do is when you get something that doesn't sound right, well, that note sounds okay, but so kind of weird tritony sound, try moving one finger, one fret away at a time. Chances are you might find something really close by that you like. So, well, that's much more pleasing. All I did was just move my finger one fret up. I could move it one fret down and see. That's okay too, but I'm going to stick with that. That's not a bad chord. Take that and move it up. See if it works in other frets. It's kind of happening, isn't it? Oh, beautiful. Really bad, but one note, one fret away. It's not quite so bad. adding one finger, one note, changing one note in a small way, moving it up or down a fret, can really, really bring a terrible sounding chord into something really harmonious. So that's just one idea. There's your D chord in standard tuning. Actually works on the 3rd fret. Beautiful. So you get the idea. Take chords you already know and see what happens. See how they work or don't work. Change them a little bit at a time. See if you can find something you like. Once you find a chord, this is cool. Let's take that cool D chord up here. And let's use one of our tapping let's use our single note tapping technique and actually tap that chord. So tapping in the 12th fret, single notes, one note at a time. See if that bass note works. That's nice. I might see if some of my open strings work nicely with this. Kind of cool. So again, I took a chord that I finally liked, that I found, and just tried tapping it, single note at a time. Single note line. See if you can find a scale or a single note melody line or something. It's pretty different than what I'm used to. And because you've got different intervals with different tunings, it lends each tuning lends itself to some very different ways to play scale lines or arpeggios or melody lines. Sometimes it makes playing a fast line really easy. Sometimes it enables you to bring in open strings in a way that just bring a ringing sound to the line. So play around with that. See if you can find some single note lines that you like. You can also tap those and hammer on. Take your 5th and 6th strings. Might as well start in the 1st fret and just play what I call double stops. So I'm just 6th and 5th string, both in the same fret, using those as bass notes. And seeing if the open strings work. Not bad. Etc. Now we've got a whole bunch of open strings right here. We might as well be tapping them, don't you think? What if we hammer on those bass notes? What if we add the 4th string? So we do a triple stop, not a double stop. We would put 6, 5, and 4 all in the same fret. So that can be fun. Play 2 or 3 note patterns, like something something as simple as that. Say first and third strings, same fret. And use one of the bass notes as an ostinato. See how I like that pulling off. We just again, taking advantage of our open tuning. It's really nice to pull off and get those open strings. Let's try using a capo. You may think if we're not singing a song and we have to change the key, and why use a capo? Well, the capo changes the sound of the instrument. That open chord, now being higher, has a different feel. So, just inspires, again, different places I might go. If I want to tap, now remember, if I want to tap on my 12th fret, I'm going to go 12 frets away from my capo. So 15th fret, I've got the capo on the 3rd fret. So sometimes, in fact, I've written songs where they're completely instrumental, but I've used a capo just to give a different key center, a different sound to the instrument, a different color. So try that. You can also be really crazy and try a capo way, way high up. You're going to get some possibilities of being able to use these open strings that are high up in a way you can get a little bit like of a mandolin sound. So, capo can be fun. And now, let's just do our harmonic brushes in our 12th, 9th, 7th, 5th, and 4th frets. That's just another way to explore the tuning. And a cool way to add to that is to actually see what you can reach when you do this. But let's say I'm going to stay in the 9th fret, do a double stop, and then stretch my pinky out and do a harmonic brush. So I've got 2 bass notes here. Or go to my 9th fret harmonics. Or any of them. So see where you can stretch to. I want to show you some chord progressions that are really, really basic progressions. 1, 4, 5. I'll throw in a 6 chord. And for this tuning, I've taken them all off of the open tuning reference chart. So getting it into maybe a context that sounds more familiar to you. There's only about 5 billion songs written with 1, 4, 5, 6 chords. So just check it out. Here we go. Chord, 4 chord, 1 chord, 5. What's important to listen to as well is the overall color of this tuning, because as we go through the different tunings, I really want you to soak in how they feel different to you, because a tuning inspires creativity, and that's one of the things I want to give you as we move on with the different tunings. So listen.